What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video it's going to be a continuation of the video I did a few days ago, basically talking about Topstep, the 50K Combine, and also how to navigate signing up for that account. And then this video is going to be about launching TopstepX, which is the platform you're going to be trading and basically utilizing for your charting and whatnot to take the combines with Topstep. If you guys aren't familiar with that video, I'll go ahead and link that up here in the top right corner so you guys can watch that video first and then come back to this one. But if you just want to see how to set up the charts and basically what the features look like on a new platform, then stick to this video. So right here, this is once you log in to Topstep, this is going to be your dashboard, I guess. So in here it's going to have the objectives, and as of right now you have 1, 2, 3. So number one's reach and maintain the $3,000 profit target, and then right here it says best day cannot be greater than 50% of your total profits. And then this rules is do not let your account balance hit or go below 4,800, so that's going to be your maximum loss limit. And then over here is going to populate once you start trading more stats and whatnot. And when we get into the platform, there's going to be another area where you can find your stats on the actual TopstepX platform, so we'll get to that here in a minute. But I just want to show you guys what this looks like. This is more of a basic look at what it's gonna look like on TopstepX once we get there. So once you're here, guys, go ahead and click right here. It's gonna launch TopstepX, and then we're gonna proceed to log in. And the login should be whatever email you use to log in for Topstep. And you guys can see I went straight into the platform, but let me go ahead and log out so I can show you. So this is what it's gonna look like, guys. Once you click this button, it's gonna bring you here, and basically, like I said, go ahead and enter in your username and password and then go ahead and sign in. And then once we're signed in, as you guys can see, this is what the chart looks like in the default. So this is what it looks like straight from scratch. Now what I'm going to show you here in this video, let me go ahead and bring you down. Wait, let me find it. Let me go ahead and bring down the kind of the steps we're going to go in. So we're going to talk about what is TopstepX. So I kind of went over that. You know, it's the platform used to trade the combines with Topstep. And then we're going to go into logging in and overview. So right now we're going to, we did that, so we're going to go ahead and overview now. And then we're going to do chart setup, layout tips, how to place trades, risk management features, combine performance tracking, and then I'm going to give you some final thoughts and tips. So this is kind of the layout, what we're going to be going over, the talking heads, talking points. So right here, let's go ahead and start. As you guys can see, this is the charts here. Now I don't really like how these charts look like from the get-go. I don't like the grids. If you guys can see, there's grids in the back and it's kind of a grayish color. I don't really like that, and I also don't like the candles, how they're you know, they're the standard green and red, and then down here the volume. So what I like to do is I like to customize my charts as soon as I get in. So I'm going to go over that real quick with you. So what you want to do is you're going to go ahead and right click in the chart, and you're going to come over here to settings. And then right in here, you're going to have your symbols. And now this is where you can go ahead and change the colors of your candlesticks. Okay, so you got your body, your borders, and your wicks. So like for instance, I like to have colors like this for basically the green is up. So green, I like them to be white. So I'll throw in a white color. And my down body candles, I like them to be, it's like this little color right here. Like that. And then for the borders, for these, I pretty much, for the up ones, I keep them like that, make you throw a little gray in there. And then for the border, for the down candle, I believe it's let me see, something like this. And the wick, just to give it a little different. And then we can go ahead and see what that looks like. You see, guys, that's how you change the colors to your candlesticks. Now let's say you wanted to change up the background, because like I said, I don't like the grids. So what you're going to do is you're going to right click, go into settings, and instead of coming to symbol, you're going to come over here to canvas. And then right here in the canvas, you see how it says solid. You're going to make sure it says solid. Then over here, just turn everything to black. As you guys can see, it turned it black. And then grid lines, we're gonna you see everything's black and grid lines. We're gonna go ahead and say we don't want any, and as you guys can see, we don't have any of those grid lines going across or horizontal. So I mean vertical or horizontal, so that's good. And then session breaks, that's if you want to have them, you can. That's basically gonna have a line to where the session, like for New York and whatnot, like it basically is gonna have that vertical line there. Watermark, cool. I didn't really mess with any of this. Let's see what scales means. Symbols, symbol name, last price. I really didn't mess with anything here. Price scale, we can go ahead and put that in there. Countdown to bar close. That's pretty cool because like for instance, if you have a 5-minute candle, it's gonna have the countdown here, just like it does on the, because this is TradingView charts, but just like it does have on TradingView, they'll have a countdown for when that 5-minute candle is gonna close. It's really good for if you're using a strategy like the IFVG by ICT. You can kind of, you know, time when that closure of the candle is gonna happen and jump in the trade. So I really like having that on there. So make sure you click that. Plus buttons, and then down here the format, date, if this is the way you like it. It gives you some options in here, but this one, 24-hour format, make sure and change that to 24, because if you go to 12, I believe it's gonna, let me see, yeah, okay, so if you go 24, it's gonna be more like military time. You see it says 15, 19, 21. I don't really like that. So come in here and put 12-hour. That's going to be just like the regular, you know, time on your watch and whatnot. See 3 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock p.m. So that's going to be, make sure you guys change that up. And then I believe there's one more thing. I don't know if I'm going to see it on here though. Let me see real quick. Oh yeah, real important. Under symbol, come down, and under this session you can put right here if you want extended trading hours or if you want regular trading hours. Basically what that means, if you put extended, it's going to show the Asia and the London sessions. If you just put regular, it's not going to show those sessions, meaning like when you come in the morning, there's going to show a big gap if we have a gap up or a gap down. But because I trade ICT concepts, I do trade the London and Asia, I'm going to go ahead and keep the extended trading hours on. And then for time zone right here, make sure you have it under New York. If you live in Texas like I do, you don't want to have it under Central because you're going to be an hour behind. So you want to have it just like they have it in New York on Wall Street. So definitely change that here and put on New York, okay? And then once you save everything the way you want it, and come over here, not to template, because you see if it doesn't have a save as default. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and just push OK in here. You're going to come up over here, and where it says save layout, go ahead and put save layout. And then I would even come over here and actually click this. I would do this first. So go to save as new layout, and then go ahead and type in the new layout you want. So for instance, I'm going to go ahead and label this one 2025 new layout. Okay, so now what that's going to do is it's going to save this layout. So whenever you log out, let's go ahead and log out real quick. So let's log out. Whenever you log in, it's going to populate this layout that you just made, all the changes you made to the colors, to the background, everything's going to be here. Okay, so make sure you guys do that. And if you ever want to switch between layouts, just come over here. As you guys can see, there's a bunch of different ones on here for testing and whatnot. But definitely be sure to save it and then save as a new layout. Don't forget, because you will lose everything that you basically messed with once you exit out of the platform. So okay, so down here, I do not like the volume this color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here. This is where your volume indicators are going to be listed, and if you don't want to see them, you can just hit this little drop down arrow, and that's going to go ahead and you know, make them come up and down. So what you're going to do is come to volume, and you're going to hit this little gear icon, and then you're going to come down to where it says style. And then for falling, I'm going to go ahead and put in what I have, something like this. And then basically that's bearish, and then this is bullish. So like I told you guys, I like it white. And then for volume, that's the thing in the middle right here. You can make it like a little darker, so like that. And then let's see if this one, okay, so this one does have save as default, so I'm gonna go ahead and save as default. I'm gonna go ahead and put OK, and you guys can see it looks good to me. That's the way I like my charts. If I was to pull over my actual TradingView charts, it'll be just like this. So that's how you set it up on you know, on TopstepX. And then real quick, since we did make a change, go ahead and put save, and we went ahead and saved what we just did. Okay, so next thing we're gonna do is, let's see, we're going to talk about some of these icons over here. Like for instance, you have your time frames right here. So you have a 30-second, you have your 1 minute, and then you have 2, 5, and the way you add those in is you come in here, and this is going to give you all the little time frames all the way up to a month. Now the cool thing about TopstepX, the platform, is in order to get these lower, like second time frames, you have to pay the premium fee for TradingView, but since this is through Topstep, you get this for free, so that's pretty cool. So go ahead, and if you want them to pop up here, you're gonna go ahead and put the star. See, when you put the star, it pops up. So you take the star off, it's no longer there. You put the star on, it's right there. And so that's how you go ahead and favorite those. And like I said, if you want to, you know, have it on the chart, just click your chart and click the time frame, and then boom, just like that, it's going to go ahead and change the time on the chart. Okay, so let's come over here to the gear icon. Okay, that's where we were just at. What is this? Quick search. So if you want to search up, I guess, a tool or a function, that's what you can do there. Over here, let's see if this, okay, yeah, if you want to take a screenshot, so let's say you had a banger trade, you're going to go ahead and click this, and then pretty much once you click it, it takes the picture, so you can open it in a new tab, and so it'll open up here. You see, so that's the screenshot of the you know, the chart you just took. Or if you wanted to you know, you can download it. So if you download it, here it is, you're gonna go ahead and download, and you can save it. So that's pretty cool. That's how that works. What is this? Save all charts for all symbols, initials on your chart layout. No. And if you want to go ahead and put different like if you want to have two charts in here, what you're gonna do is you're gonna come right here, and you can come over here and split it. Once you guys split it, if you come over here, you see you have the two charts right in here, the drop down, it's going to say link. You see how it's got the color white? Well, let's say that you don't want it white. You want to go ahead and change the, you know, change the linkage to put a different chart on here. What you want to do is come over here to style, to input, and the color. This is where you can assign the colors to match, you know, the different symbols. Like for instance, if you have white here, if you look over here on the order tab, it's white. That means whatever white is, that's what's going to populate in here to take your trades. And it also goes the same for the charts and whatnot. So if you don't want it linked, go ahead and click that one. So whenever you have this unlinked, it's whatever this one is, it's not going to show up over here. So for right now, we're going to go ahead and unlink it. Because the way I trade, let's say I have MNQ over here, which for you guys who are probably new, that is the little smaller contract for NQ. The one that correlates with this is going to be the ES mini. So you can go ahead and put in ES in here, and actually it's going to be the micro. It's going to be the MES. So this is going to be the correlating asset to NQ or to MNQ. So when I'm trading, I have multiple monitors. So usually I'll have this like actually on another monitor, but since it's on here, you could have it split like this. So while you're watching this one on, let's say, a 30-second chart, you could have this one over here on let's say another 30-second chart, so you guys can keep them you know, to find any kind of divergences or fluctuations in the assets, to see if you have some kind of SMT, if you guys trade ICT like me. So that's pretty cool. You can link the charts here, and let's say that you don't want them like that and you want them horizontal, just click that, and then you can come in here and, you know, mess with them to get them the way you want. So for now, we're going to go back over here, but that's how you do that. And let me look at my chart real quick to see what else I'm going to tell you guys about. Okay, so let's say that you wanted to add a widget or something to the platform. What you're going to do is you can come over here to where it says the plus, and see how it says add component. So you're going to go ahead and push that. So things you can add is a DOM. You can add an order platform thing, and accounts, and that's basically what's going to be down here. Your positions, trades, times and sells, quotes, the tilt indicator, Topstep TV, spacer. So this is where you add all those things. And if you wanted to add them, you just click it and you can drop it. You know, like for instance, if you click right here, you can pretty much drop it wherever you're gonna want. So I'm not gonna mess with that though. I'm gonna leave it there. So that's how you add stuff to the chart. Let me go ahead and minimize that, exit out right here. Let's see. So over here on the right hand side, obviously this is where you're going to go ahead and take your trades. We'll get into this more here in the next section. Down here, this is where you have your account. So you're going to have your account name and whatnot, the win rate, the total lots traded, daily P&L, open P&L, and account balance. And if you guys look, we have other icons here: position, orders, trades, quotes, and the tilt indicator. So that's something that they offer, is a tilt indicator, which basically lets you know what's everybody who's trading on Topstep, what is their, what are they doing as far as their trades? Are they long or short in the market? So you can kind of get an idea of what you want to do, if you want to go with the crowd or if you want to do something different. That's basically what this tilt indicator indicates. So that's where that's going to be down here. And like I said, all this was standard. I didn't have to move any of this down here. It was already there. The only thing that I would change on here would be the time and sells. I really don't use that. So if you wanted to take something off, just push the X and then it's gone. And like I said, I did make a change. So I'm going to come up here and put save. And then let me see. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and start talking about indicators. And let's say that you wanted to add some indicators to the chart. What you're going to do is you're going to come up here to this little FX thing. It's going to say indicators, and basically if you want to add something, you're going to click it in here. So they have a ton of different indicators to put on there. And like I said, I trade ICT, so I really don't use any of these indicators. The ones that I have on my charts for TradingView, they don't have here. So for instance, if I wanted the ICT kill zones, which are going to map up the the London and Asia and the New York session kill zones, you guys can see they're not here because, like I said, they don't have them on this platform. But on TradingView, they do have them. So since they don't have what I usually use, the only one I have right now is the volume. And let's say you wanted to favorite one of them though, same thing like the time, you just go ahead and click this star and it's going to favorite those. But if you wanted to add one to the chart, just click it and it'll populate to your chart. So that's how you add the indicators. Let's see over here, if you guys have a different preference for candles, like let's say you want the bar candle, you go ahead and click this one. As you guys can see, we have the regular standard candles on here and it's a favorite, so it's got the star. And so this is where you can change that kind of stuff. Let me see. Okay, so over here on the left hand side, you guys can see all these different little tools that we have. And then down here, this thing's pretty cool. This is like the favorites toolbar. So for instance, when I'm trading, I use a trend line, I use a long position, the short position. And the way you add these two here is you'll come up here, you'll click this little arrow, and you see how it has a trend line, it has a star. Okay, so when you click that star, let me move this so where you can see it. So when you click the star, it's basically going to add it to your favorites bar here. So I like to use this. I like to use this trend line. I also like to use the horizontal array. And so you see, boom, it landed right there. And I also like to use the vertical lines. And this is what I use to map out my macros sessions. For, like I said, I trade ICT, so I use that. You could also, do a parallel channel if you want that. Let me see. Over here we have the Fibonacci retracement tool. I do use that, and you can customize these. I will try to show you that real quick here once we get them set up, but I'm going to add that to the bar. What else? The GAN box, I do like that. Let me see anything over here. I don't really do nothing over there. Long position, short position, I have those favorited, so they're here. Okay, over here I do like the brush and the highlighter in case I wanted to do some markings on my market replays or whatever. And then for sure, I do like this rectangle tool. That is probably one of the most I use because I map out the fair value gaps and whatnot for my strategy. So that's basically how you can add everything over here. Now let's say that you don't want this here. What you're gonna do is you're gonna scroll down, and you see this thing right here. If you toggle that off, you see it disappeared. You toggle it back on, it's back. So that's how you hide that. So I like mine on, and I usually keep it right here. So that's how I do that. Let me see some other tools we have. We have a text box, so you can go ahead and do some custom text, anchor to text, whatever you want to do here. This has some little emojis and whatnot, and then of course you have your measuring tool. This thing is really cool if you want to see more or less, you know, what kind of move the market's making at that time. I use this a lot too. And then you have a magnet thing, and then here you can lock all drawings. And then right here is pretty cool. Let's say you had like a bunch of stuff on here as far as like, you know, you had your trend lines, and you had, you know, different kind of drawings on here, right? And to say that you wanted to get rid of them real quick, just come over here to this little eyeball, and if you click that, you see they're all gone. You put it back, and they're there. So you can just toggle on and off all that. Let's say you wanted to take off a drawing though, you could either just click it and then put, you know, so for instance, well, we're in highlighter, so make sure you come back to the pointer. So basically just click it, and then you can just, you know, exit out of, delete those drawings and whatnot. So that's pretty much how these tools on the left side work, as well as the favorites bar. Now we're gonna go ahead and start getting into the actual, you know, placing trades and going into risk management and all that kind of stuff, and how you can toggle on some of those cool tools that TopstepX offers. But real quick, right up here, guys, this is where your account number is going to be. This is the balance, the minimum loss limit, the realized profit and loss, and then the unrealized profit and loss, I believe. And if you guys have a question, just click this. Oh, this is the manual lockout. This is pretty cool. So if you're going on tilt, right, and you want to lock yourself out, just click this thing right here, and you're locked out, man. You cannot trade till the next day. So that's pretty cool. So all right, let's go ahead and get to the next section of the tutorial, guys. So we're going to get into the actual how to place trades on Topstep. I'm gonna try to go a little faster because the video is getting pretty long. Okay, so to take trades, obviously you have your chart here, you got MNQ here. This is how you're gonna make sure you're linked up to the right one. Remember how I showed you, you can come in here and link everything, so make sure it's white, and then over here you want to make sure it's white here. And yeah, so make sure those are matching, so that when you take a trade over here, it's for sure trading the actual symbol that you have in your chart. So basically you have over here, you have your market, limit, stop market, trailing stop. You have right here, this is where you can input the number of contracts that you want. Over here you have your bid and ask, and then of course you have your account number here. If you have multiple accounts, they will show up all right here. So if you want to trade specific ones, make sure you're choosing the right account. And over here it says no active positions. Over here I believe it's just, you know, you can quickly add and subtract contracts and whatnot. So over here you have your buy market, sell market, join bid, join ask, flatten all, cancel all. So those are all pretty much standard. If you want to make changes, you can come in here and you can toggle on and off some of these things, but this is where you can mess with all that. So we're gonna go ahead and close that up. And like I said, this came standard on the platform already. I didn't have to add this here, but if you wanted to, say it wasn't, remember you come in here and this is where you can add the DOM and the you know, you can add the trades and all that other stuff. This is where you do that. Okay, so we got that out the way. Now we're gonna go ahead and talk about risk management. So for risk management, what we're gonna do is what's pretty cool is we're gonna come over here to Trader Hub. No, not that. We're gonna go to settings. So where we're in settings, you see right here it says risk settings. What you can do here is you can do a global risk setting. So basically what this means is you can set up custom brackets. So whenever you place a trade, these are automatically going to populate on your chart. As you can see, it says automatically apply a risk bracket to new positions. So for instance, let's say you want to risk 300 and you want to profit 600. Whenever you take a trade on the chart, as soon as you enter, it's going to automatically populate them. I wish I could show you what it looks like, but like I said, the market's closed. I'm filming this on a Saturday at 1 o'clock in the morning, so yeah, there's no price action, but it will populate on there, whatever you have set up in here. I recommend, guys, get used to doing this, because you don't want to get waked out, especially if you're new and you don't know what you're doing. The market moves really crazy, especially NASDAQ, and if you're trading at the wrong time, even though you have this, you could still probably get hurt real bad. So, but definitely try and build a habit of setting this stuff up. And then over here, it says account risk settings, daily risk lock. So let's say, for instance, you have a personal daily loss limit. So for instance, let's put 500. What that means is once you hit $500, down here, you can basically designate what's going to happen. You can either do nothing, you can liquidate your position, or you can liquidate and block. I recommend liquidating and blocking you, because if you just liquidate your position once you hit your personal daily loss limit, it's not going to stop you from taking another trade. So go ahead and lock yourself out for the day. Once you're locked out, you won't be able to get back into the next trading day session starts. Okay, so I would have that on there. Let's see, trade limits. So let's say you want to take a maximum number of trades per day. This is where you can put that. If you want to take a maximum trades per week, this is where you put that. And then over here, personal daily profit target. So let's say it's $1,000. You can put that in here, and the same thing. Once you hit 1,000, do you want it to liquidate you, or do you want it to liquidate your account and also block you to not come back and give those profits up? So I recommend putting that in there. So for instance, 1,000 and liquidate and block. So once you make 1,000, go ahead and lock yourself out, so that you won't give back your profits, right? Let me see. So symbol blocks, let's say you don't want to trade a symbol that's you don't have good luck with, or you don't know what's going on with it, like for instance gold or crude oil or whatnot. You can go ahead and put that symbol in here. Let's see. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then over here we have a personal lockout. So set lockout, you can just come in here and lock yourself out if you want to do it like that. It says trade clock disabled, you need it active, so don't worry about that. But here's where you can set your, you can lock yourself out right now if you're going to be that disciplined. Cool. Once you make those changes, go ahead and save that. And then over here we have copy trading. So they have a built-in copy trader. So what you want to do is, if you're going to click your lead account, and then all the other following accounts will be listed down here. Now, as you guys can see, I only have one account, so that's why it's the only one popping up. But if I had 3 or 4, here you'd pick the lead account, and then these will be your follower accounts. I'm pretty sure they populate, and you can designate them to follow that one. So that's where you set that up. Charts and data. Let's see, just keep it on medium. Everything right here, just keep everything right here the way it is. Privacy, I'd never really mess with this. Hotkeys, so if you guys are into that, that's where you set that up. Miscellaneous, enable sounds, and then some technical stuff over there. So that's pretty much how you take a trade and how you can set up the risk settings to trade on TopstepX. Now what we're going to talk about is some of these other little things they have over here. Like for instance, they have Trader Hub, and I believe this is where you can just find out about economic news. Like for instance, if FOMC is coming on, or something crazy that can move the market, this is where you can find that out. You definitely don't want to get caught on the wrong side of news when it gets dropped. So definitely get used to checking this out. And then over here, this is the performance stats, and this is gonna populate once you start taking trades, basically all your stats, your total P&L, trade win percentage, average win, profit factor, and best day percent of total profits. And then over here, I guess you'll have your little line chart, right? And it's gonna have more data in here, total number of trades, total number of lots traded, average loss duration, average win duration, average winning trade, average losing trade, trade direction percent, worst trade, best trade. So it's going to have some really cool statistics here to kind of keep you in the loop of how you're trading and what you can fix and what's working. And then we scroll down, it's just more information, and then here it's going to have your little P&L monthly chart, so you can see how you're doing in a week. So that's pretty much how that looks there. Let's see what else we have over here. Settings. And so that's just the risk that we were at. And right here is Topstep TV. So if you guys don't know, they go live pretty much every day of the week. They have something going on, somebody talking. So that's a quick little way you can get to their broadcast. And then support, you just click that right there. And then of course down here, that's how you log out. Okay, so the next thing we're going to go into is just some final thoughts and tips. And then that'll be the end of the video. So we'll get into that. Alright guys, we're at the conclusion of the video. I'm going to leave you with a few more tips before we go ahead and wrap it up. So if you are on the chart real quick guys, and if you wanted to take a trade from the chart, you can just right click and you can do, you know, limit buys, or you can do your stop sells, market buys. So you can do that from the chart using your mouse if you wanted to do it like that. Another cool tip would be over here under support. If you come to these Topstep 5-minute tutorials, if you guys need more, you know, I guess teachings on some of the things you can do on the platform, they have a bunch of different videos on here guys. So that's how you get to this spot, is you go to support and Topstep 5-minute tutorials. And then also if you want to check out the Discord, you can just click this here and go to the Discord. So this is a real cool way to you know, get more info and then live chats here. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it was kind of long, but there's just a lot to talk about. And I think for my combine here, I'm going to try to showcase some of the trades that I take on the platform and some of the progress that I make trying to get this funded account. But yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to see other videos that I have on my channel, go ahead and check out the links down below. And yeah, man, I would appreciate a subscribe, a like, comment down below what else you want to see, and we'll catch you on the next one.